So hello everyone, this is your Krishna from Women Today YouTube channel. So in this channel we have been interviewing many women entrepreneurs and working women across different cities in India. We are just traveling to different cities and we are doing offline interviews in their office locations, and we are also doing online interviews across different cities in India and also across different countries in the world. So today right now we are in Mumbai, and right in front of us is Nisha and Lamba ma'am. So she is a French language facilitator and also a teacher. So I welcome you, Nisha Lamba ma'am, to this Women Today YouTube channel. So please kindly introduce me about yourself, about the kind of work that you're doing to the audience who are watching this interview right now, ma'am.
Hello, dear viewers. My name is Nisha Lamba. I'm founder and director of Nisha's French Classes, which is located offline at Ghatkopar, Mumbai. However, we have an online and offline entire ecosystem which works on. However, we deal with all academics and non-academic French related teaching. Now, what is academic and what is non-academic? The academic part goes with the school boards, which is IGCSE, IB, ab initio, and the local domestic boards like ICSE and CBSE. So, with 18 years of experience in this French teaching journey, we have been able to empower lot of students with the best in the language, where they have been achieving goals to create global citizens.
So that's a great kind of achievement which you have been doing for more than 18 plus years, because you have a vast experience in French language teaching, and also people who kind of get trained under you, they are just getting reputation at the global level. That's a great thing that you're doing to the society, ma'am. So tell me, Nisha Lamba ma'am, there are a lot of institutes who are teaching French language in Mumbai. So right now you're near Ghatkopar railway station, your French classes that you're teaching for more than past 16 plus years. So how do you actually make sure that you are unique from other kind of French tutors, language trainers, and what make yourself that you want to say proud about yourself that you have been doing these kind of things what other kind of institute doesn't do, ma'am?
I would like to introduce myself as a person who has been teaching for more than 17 plus years, and the USP, that is the unique selling point or the best part about our institute, has been conceptual learning. We have always believed in the mantra of concept. The first thing you have to understand is concept. Once you understand the concept, and second, we are very technologically adaptive to the measures. Like in 18 years, the entire technological systems have changed from the rote learning method, where they had to learn something, and now to the conceptual ways, and different types of boards have emerged from where we started. Initially there was certain state boards existing, to now the international curriculum coming up, and we as parents wanting our kids to be global citizens. So what has happened is there is difference of things that have come up. So what makes us unique is we adapt to the changes that come to the curriculum much quickly, and we are more into conceptual and technologically. Like how we teachers, we have everything based on technological systems. Like we have our own applications, where if the students are not available, we have physical classes, we have online classes. So we have different boards. So what we have is we have our own applications where students can go back and listen to the to our teaching methods. Notes are available, explanations are available, 24/7 doubt solvings are available. Then the notes in physical and the PDF formats are available. So that gives students an upper hand, because that's more of Gen Z way of dealing with the students, rather than going to the traditional methods against the conceptual methods. And trust me, that has given us tremendous results. We have been I can proudly say I have displayed each and every result on my website, where the kind of success we have got. So it's been really a very good journey.
So it's very simple. That's kind of thing that what I'm seeing in your office right now, because as we can see right now where we are sitting right now, there is only one whiteboard over here, and you also have a separate room where you told that you do not have any kind of whiteboards over there. There is only kind of digital classes happening over there. So that's how you make sure that you are actually making sure that children who are learning classes under you, they learn the concepts. So concept is the basic building for this kind of French language, and also at the same time that's why you are able to produce a lot of good results. So that's a great thing that you are doing to the society. And also tell us, ma'am, consider we have a lot of boards for French exams. It is ICSE, IGCSE, IB, all these kind of French board exams do exist. But most of people do not know about, okay, there are a lot of boards in between. Like people only think that, okay, it's just a French exam, but there is a lot of difference between different boards. So tell us what can we expect with the all these kind of boards, and how do you make sure that a kind of student select the right board which is suitable for them for the French exams, ma'am?
This question is very good because I have been telling students for a longer time. People think that, exam based, it'll be exam based, and what is the use of it? Coming to the point first, there are different boards that exist in India. So I would like to tell you, if somebody who's watching this podcast and does not know, we have I stay in Maharashtra, so we have a Maharashtra State Board, which is the secondary and the higher secondary, which pioneers French as a foreign language. Then we have IGCSE, which is a Cambridge curriculum, which again has French as a foreign language with separate bifurcations. Then there is IB, which has got International Baccalaureate, which again has French. The levels of French changes with every board. IB also has ab initio and different thing. Ab initio goes into a very basic French where they start from basics. This is only ab initio is once you complete your 10th standard and move to 11th standard. That is where ab initio comes in. We pioneer and master into examination. So that's how we even deal with TEF and DELF. TEF is basically the proficiency examination for Canada, and DELF is something that is done to achieve the foreign language proficiency in the language. So there are different boards with different examinations, and everything is separate. However, French is a foreign language right now. I don't know if you all know or not, but French is one of those languages which is very highly used in many, many, many places. Day before yesterday, I was talking, this is since it's a live interview, I was talking to a parent, and the parent said, my child wants to go to United Nations and be working over there, but is considering German over French. So I had to stop and say, do you know United Nations has French as a second language compulsory? You need to know French. Olympic associations has French compulsory. The International Red Cross has French compulsory. So French is used in multiple ways, things. And if your children start early in school and with the right guidance, definitely be assured they would be global citizens.
So one thing I learned from you is it's very simple, that you are not a kind of noob in this subject. As 16 plus years of experience, you're a totally ultra pro experienced tutor. And also at the same time, yeah, I can see one thing, there are a lot of exams to clear, like but I know only IELTS exam to pass to get into Canada, but right now there are stuff and a lot of things happening over here. So you make sure that there are yes, of course you spoke about the beginning French classes which one can do after finishing the 10th and 11th standard exams in India. So that's it, that's a massive kind of things. If you go too much technical, then it will be a lot of confusing. We can just do one thing, we can just let it to the students who visits whatever they wanted to learn, they can meet
You
me.
can put my website and my number, and they can come back to us. We will clear their queries.
Yeah, so it's very simple. I can mention Nisha Lamba ma'am website and all the kind of details, so that you can just contact her. I'll mention her Instagram link in the YouTube description, so that you can just contact her, you can just have a conversation with her, and whatever kind of board exam suits you in this French language, you can just have it. So yeah, just moving on to the next question. So nowadays when students are having classes, they make sure that they have a good kind of enjoying and fun learning classes, because as you told, as we were speaking before, if the teacher is a little bit grumpy, then people find it difficult, especially today's teens. They want a good kind of friendly teacher, of course, because they expect a lot of friendly moments. Then only they'll be able to kind of mingle with them, they'll be having a lot of wavelength connected with them, and then they will be able to kind of understand what they're actually teaching. So it's basically like an injection. If you can't, when you're just injecting hard, it doesn't penetrate, the medicine doesn't penetrate. It's like we have to make sure that it's very soft, then only it's the whatever we are trying to put, it will be going inside. The same way, a teacher should always like be a very friendly, and it should be like a different unique kind of things happening. So tell us about your teaching style. How do you actually teach your students, and how do you make sure that you are totally approachable by the students, so that whenever a student is coming to you, they make sure that okay, we are just going to a very friendly teacher, so no need to worry about any kind of too much kind of stress or anything. We can just have it in the flow.
See, my goal or my mantra for 18 years has been student first, because they are the students who come to me are in a very vulnerable age, basically teen transitions. I teach students who are teenagers, and I am a teen mentor. So my teaching style is basically very approachable by teens. I'm more like a friend to them, but I know where to draw my lines, because you, being a friend doesn't mean that you can take teaching for granted. So I know where to, take a stand and where to let it loose. And moreover, we mostly have more of fun learning classes, like every lesson has been planned in advance, catering to the classroom need. Like sometimes the some lectures, I think some topic is very boring, so it's made into a fun way. We have like I told you, our application is there on which the video is uploaded with different characters, so that they can see those characters and understand them. We even encourage students getting their devices, because this entire Gen Z is born with devices. So we have different ways, and my students love me. They love the way I teach. I think that's the reason I am ranked almost 4.9 on Google for my ways of teaching, because I have a lot of awards that you can see here, is because the way I approach my students. Today also my students call me back 10 years, 15 years back. Students even call me back today telling me, okay, ma'am, remember you had taught this today when we were in some situation, and we could still recollect what you have done. Trust me, we have some reviews on Google also, where after 10 years, students have come down and said, for 10 years we have been using what she taught us, apart from what she was teaching us in students, because I believe that value inculcation is also equally important with the language teaching, because they go hand in hand. So that's what. And one more thing I can proudly say, I teach years and years the same students, because we become a part of family. So that's the way I teach.
So it's very well evident that she is an approachable and a friendly teacher, because as she said in the beginning, I thought that there will be a line which separates students and teachers at sometimes. But remember, if a student who have studied under her, if they're coming back to her after 10 years and they're speaking that okay, we are having some kind of good kind of things happening in our life because of your teachings, then it very well shows that you are totally approachable and friendly. That's a great thing, ma'am. And also you told that you actually help students kind of make learning very easy for them. So tell us, there are a lot of different board exams for French. So tell us, how do you actually make sure that you tailor lessons for each and every students separately according to the kind of different board exams which they have for the French exams, ma'am?
Yeah, this is a very good question, because a lot of people ask me this question, that I deal with multiple boards. I have IGCSE, I have IB, and then I have domestic boards. Yes, I tailor make courses for each and every board. Like IGCSE has got a different pattern. They have 4 papers to attend. So I have entire pedagogy which clears the reading paper, writing paper, speaking paper, listening paper, and we cover it individually. So that is a format. Then there is a different format available for IB, ICSE, CBSE, and given an array of experience of 17 to 18 plus years, I have been able to develop such a good ecosystem, where every student and every board has been catered personally, and has every time before we start anything, we have an entirely curriculums planned, and everything is done in a very systematic way, because I am a very big pioneer of quality over quantity. I believe that quality education should be imparted over a lot of quantity, where the child doesn't even know what has to be done. So as a teacher, I make sure it is consolidated to a format that the child understands it in a better way. So every board has its own way of dealing, and every board has its own share of notes, physical notes, video notes, everything available, which is different.
tell us, ma'am, there are group classes and private classes for your French language training. So, how does these two differ, ma'am? And what can we expect when we attend a private session with you and we attend a group kind of French language learning lessons from you, ma'am?
This is a very, very good question because I always wanted to answer this question. You know, I always prefer having smaller groups than private one on one sessions because I deal with teenagers, I deal with students, and I always want to create a healthy environment which is competitive. At the same time, they understand how they can be working when they are in a group. So I love training people in groups so that they understand what is, the way when there is a competition happening and how the competition is healthy, how they can get good marks, and how, marks does not matter. Being a good human also matters. I definitely cater group classes and individual classes. Individual classes is basically I and the student, whereas group classes is where I always tell parents, if the kids are teenagers, please try to have a smaller group of 5 to 7 students. I don't know about others, but when I train in groups, students, the best potential of the student comes out because they have potential, and when they are with their peers with no stress, no struggle, and the teacher is sitting with them, the best version is out. So I personally believe in having group classes more than having personal one-on-one classes.
So it proves that teamwork always works the best. So yeah. So I can see a lot of success testimonials. I can see a lot of students who are toppers after kind of having French language learning lessons from you. So tell us, ma'am, how about your success testimonials? I can see a lot of people clearing the exams and also being the toppers. That's the highlight which I wanted to do in this interview, because clearing French exams for me is really like a different language is very difficult for me, and also at the same time getting ourselves at the top is totally unique. So tell us, how do you make these kind of things happen, and how do you make sure that these results, the positive success results, happen each and every year, because you have been doing it for more than 15 plus years, the same kind of result strategies. So tell us about the kind of things that you do so that the people who actually study under you become the toppers in this French classes, ma'am.
See, for me, I have been getting toppers. Like I told you, I have displayed my results from 2013 till date, and year on year the students and results are displayed. The only thing I think is Rome was not built in a day, and I start early. Students start early with me, and we train them. We basically, I make sure that at every level the refining is done, because the student takes time to sync with the teacher, and results are not overnight. It cannot come overnight. So all the students who we have been able to produce results have been studying with us for years and years together. The trust that they have built in and put in me has been enormous. They have been there for many. I have batches where I have started with students in grade 4th and they have been studying till grade 12. So, and if you are with somebody, you know them in and out, and the way you treat them, the way you teach them, I know their vulnerabilities, I know how they can perform, what is the most positive side they have, so I can really refine them well on that. So that is one thing. As a mentor, I believe the more time you spend with the child, the better as a child you can reframe them, refine them to get better marks. This has been my mantra, that I have been teaching students for years and years, the same students, for longer time we teach, and that is how we achieve results. Even I have crash courses which I have done and have achieved results, because I understand how to consolidate the matter and get it to them if they want to only pass the exam. But most of our students carry this subject future in life.
So it's very surprising for me to see a student who is enrolled under you from class 4 to class 12. That's a long time of things that you are teaching to the students. And also at the same time, crash courses, you also make sure that whoever wants to have a simple short-term learning, they can actually use it to kind of crack and pass the exams. So that's a kind of unique thing. So yeah, these kind of things which I see from you is very simple, that you make sure that you have a friendly experience with them, then only you will be able to make sure that you understand, you make sure the students who are enrolled under you are understanding the French kind of classes, they make themselves totally sink into it. Only when they sink into it, they'll be learning the depth of it. So you make sure that you make the students go to the depth, and you make sure that they see all these kind of things.
I can add to this is I make sure they love the language, and I make sure that they are trained to be global leaders. I make sure that they are working in groups and are ready for leadership positions in life. That is the reason I prefer group classes over individual classes, because this teaches them how groups function, how leaderships function. So it teaches them a lot, because this is not just a language, it is a subject that will take you to the next level, open global doors. So if it is opening global doors, you should be ready to take that. So knowingly, unknowingly, a lot of mentorship along with the language is what I promise.
So that's one of the other kind of testimonial which I'm seeing right now, because it's going to be the success testimonials which we can expect a lot of global leaders from you, ma'am. Because yes, of course, the kind of strategy you're using to teach this kind of French language learning is totally unique from others, and you make sure that it serves them the right in the future. So that's all about this kind of French language teaching and training from you, ma'am. So tell us, ma'am, with 15 years of experience in this French.
I would like to correct you, it's 18.
Okay,
18 plus.
okay, that's great, that's great. With 18 plus years of experience in French language training, so tell us, ma'am, there will be a lot of trends happening each and every year in this French language classes. So each and every year, they'll be having a modern trends about this kind of French classes. So tell us about the trends. What are the changes that you have been witnessing over the past many years, ma'am?
Yes, over the past years, like 18 plus years, I have been seeing a lot of changes. When I initially started, there were very few people who would want to learn the language. But now, with lot of people understanding the importance of language, and especially a foreign language, it is growing. Though like you said, curriculum changes. Yes, in schools curriculums have changed with national education policy coming in, the three language policy. The foreign languages have taken a backseat, but trust me, I have so many students, the non academic students, who are taking language up as an alternative back home, maybe as a hobby, because they understand that if you do not learn an additional foreign language, because now it has become a trend up, the person next door is not going to be where you are going to stay throughout your life. You are going to be traveling for education, you are going to be traveling for work, you are going to be traveling for everything. So languages give you horizon. Like we teach, we have this in French when we teach that why do you study in language, because you're not treated like a tourist, you have more horizons, you know, you're entirely learning a lot, you learn about a new culture. So that is how, you know, language is very important at this moment. To understand or to speak about anything, you need to understand the language that that country or that place is speaking. So that's how in years I've seen more awareness about learning foreign languages than what it was in the past.
So also tell us, ma'am, how do you make sure that you are updated in each and every trend that is happening in this French languages, ma'am? Because each and every year, as I told you already, there is a lot of trends happening, and there should be a lot of updations over here. So as a French language felicitator, how do you make sure that you are making an update, and you are making sure that you update your students coming to you each and every year in this kind of trends, and also in the French exams of each boards happening each and every year, ma'am?
Yes, a very good question. As a teacher or as a felicitator, I am very proactive. I spend almost 3 to 4 hours in a week updating myself with the trends. I make sure that there are workshops that are conducted about curriculum changes, about different ways how the new curriculum is to be introduced. I have seen so many curriculum changes. If you see IGCSE, I started teaching in 2007-8. So there was a different curriculum, and today it is totally different. Like I started teaching when it was 265 marks, and today the new curriculum which is coming in 2028 will be 160 marks. So there has been a huge change, and same with IB, ab initio, ICSE also curriculums have changed. So I make sure dedicatedly every week 3 to 4 hours has been spent on analyzing, understanding what is the change of curriculum, what will be the new resources that the students will be using. Because if I as a teacher or as a facilitator don't put myself working towards the goal that I want my students to achieve, they will never be achieving. And thanks to the French fraternity, we keep on updating each other. We have a lot of workshops that we attend, a lot of then we have websites where we keep on updating ourselves. So yeah, as a teacher, it takes a lot of effort to understand that new resources that are coming, how do we use those resources. So I spend a lot of time every week understanding this.
So that's a great example. You're a thorough professional in this French language training, because as you said in the middle that you attend a lot of workshops about the updations happening all around the world. Because yeah, we should be a kind of having a wide visibility of what's happening. Then only then we'll be able to kind of make sure the students enrolled under us, they will be having these kind of updations. Because as you told in the beginning, you always wanted your students to kind of rule the world in the global level. That's a great thing. So also, if a student wants to get kind of enrolled under you for this French language kind of classes, so tell us, what is the basic procedure to get enrolled under you, ma'am?
We have our own website on which there is a form which you can fill. Our numbers are freely available online. We can attach our number. You can call us. We have an Instagram page. You can drop us a message there, and we are always available 24/7 so that our students get the best. Because during exams, so we make sure that we are available as much as possible 24/7. You say maybe if it was 48 hours a day, we would be available that much, because their mental well-being and being there is what is my priority.
Of course, when mental well-being is all we need in our life, so that's what you're concentrating. That's a great thing, ma'am. Also tell us, ma'am, other than your classes, if a students kind of mingle with others during their outside time, tell us any tips on how to improve their French language learning outside classes, ma'am.
Outside classes, see, my students, have every resource available with them that they can do best. Outside, there are a lot of very good YouTube content creators, then textbooks. There is so much of variation of, like, I remember when I started studying French, there was no resource available. But today we have very good YouTube creators. You could refer to them. But yeah, if you join Nisha's French classes, then we will take care of all the resources. So yeah, we can tell you, you can go online, you can practice, you can look for speaking buddies, you can take some felicitator or some teacher who's there to practice with you, maybe from small groups where you could practice the language, watch movies, songs, TV Sync is there, then RFI is there. These all will help you to improve your French language capacity. So I would suggest you could venture into those also.
Of course, the best advice which each and every friend tells us when we learn other language, when we want to learn other language, is very simple. They tell us to watch movies in that language, because that's the best way which we can make ourselves connected to the language. So,
but yeah, without subtitles.
exactly. First, we should look at subtitles so that we can understand. Then on the flow, then when it comes like over a period of time, then we can just watch it without even watching subtitles, and we can understand the kind of scenario what's happening in the movie. So yeah. So other than the outside kind of things that we spoke about, tell us what are the resources that students can use to learn French language, like other than textbooks and online tools. Is there any kind of other resources that students can use for learning French language, ma'am?
See, as far as I think, if you're a student, the textbook that a school provides, every school provides us with a textbook, they are generally benchmarks. So they are benchmarks to understand that this is the kind of curriculum you're expected to learn. But being a language, you cannot always rely on only one textbook. So there are ample of study material, resources available. You can research online, and now there are so many interactive worksheets also available. You can take up few courses online where you can understand how to use it. But definitely textbook will give you a guideline on how to study, because being a foreign language, if you do not have anything, a guideline on how to study, you will not be able to make best out of it. And definitely a mentor or a felicitator is better if you get somebody who can guide you properly. Where you may take 8 months to complete something, a guide or a felicitator or a teacher, a perfect teacher knows we can complete the same thing in a month's time. Like if you see, we take IGCSE completion 2 years ka portion, there's a portion, 2 years is a program, but we try to complete portion in a very limited and a dedicated manner, and revise, revisions, practice, because that's the key to success. If you don't revise your language, if you don't have enough test or whatever you are doing, if you are giving an exam, you will never be able to succeed. And second, Rome cannot be built in a day. You cannot come 1 month before an exam and say, oh, today I am going to study French and I don't know anything. Then you can't do anything. You will have to dedicatedly invest your time, your resources, collect resources over a period of time, be very systematic with what you want to do. Maybe that is short way to succeed in a language.
Of course, Rome was not built in a day, because great things need some time. And in between, you told that, yeah, of course, you make sure that students coming to you, they learn the process at a very fast pace. Because as we told, yeah, a good teacher always have a good experience. And with these kind of experiences, they make sure that the students, those who are getting enrolled under you, so you put those kind of practices, experiences over the past 18 years which you have been doing, so that they'll be kind of incorporating all those kind of skills, techniques, and make sure that they are skilled in this French language, ma'am. So yeah, we spoke about a long kind of things about this kind of French language classes. So via this interview, if you want to convey any kind of message to the society, what will be that one message that you would like to tell to the audience via this interview, ma'am?
Nothing is easy, nothing is difficult. At least take a first step. Always, language will be difficult if you do not find a correct mentor. If you think that, every mentor is excellent, choose wisely, go to the mentor, speak about your doubts, your insecurities, because usually people who start learning language have a reason to learn it. So speak it out clearly that I have, like we get a lot of TEF students coming to us who have a necessity to complete it between given period of time. Language cannot be learned in 2, 4, 6 months. It needs a process. If somebody tells you can learn a full-fledged intermediate or a advanced level in 6 months, it is not possible. That is just a scam. You cannot do it. Maybe there may be some great people who can do it with only 24 hours immersing in the language. I can't speak about it. With general person, it is difficult. So be wise enough on what you want to do, and it is not difficult. If I can achieve it, anybody can achieve it. So it's not very difficult. Just correct way to approach will be what you are required to do. And trust me, learning languages will open horizons. I've been speaking on this for my entire interview, that it will make you a global citizen. The more languages under your belt, the more better you have job opportunities. Thank you.
So that's a wonderful message, ma'am. Of course, as you told, Rome was not built in a day, and also at the same time, if you want to learn good language, then we have to choose the right mentor. That's everything that we want to tell via this interview. Of course, people who really wanted to learn French, who really wanted to make their children, and if you personally wanted to learn French, then you can approach Nisha and Lamba ma'am over here. So you are having, right now we are in Katkopar. So how many branches do you have for your French language classes, ma'am?
See, we cater online worldwide, but on physical fronts in the central Mumbai location, we are located in Chembur, Ghatkopar, Chembur, and Vadala. because these are three locations where a major of our students want to do offline classes. And online, Ghatkopar, we are just located next to the station, so we cover almost the entire western central all lines. So this location is there, and then Chembur, and all of them are in central Mumbai only. But definitely we have online, offline and hybrid. We would love to cater you guys. Do come in, do let us know any queries, any grievances, we are there to help you.
Of course, I'll mention Nisha Lamba French language classes full details over here in the YouTube description. I'll mention her Instagram link. If you want to contact her, you can just contact her and have a conversation with her, as I told you before. So yeah, people who are watching this interview right now, please do subscribe to our Women Today YouTube channel. Please click on the bell icon so that you can receive notifications whenever I do post new videos regarding women entrepreneurs and working women across different cities in India and also across different countries in the world. So today's your host is Krishna, hosting this Women Today YouTube channel. Today right in front of us is Nisha Lamba ma'am from Mumbai, a French language felicitator and also a trainer and a teacher. So thank you once again ma'am for accepting me to host this wonderful interview with you. We had a lot of kind of sessions learning what is happening in this French language learning. So thank you once again ma'am. Good evening. Have a nice day ma'am.
Thank you, and it was nice connecting with you. I would be more than happy if this video could empower somebody.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Surely it will empower students who really wanted to have a good thorough knowledge in French language learning. So thank you once again ma'am. That's a wrap. Okay, fine.